Okay, we're going to start on page 41. This is adding integers with different signs. So before we write the rules down, I want to show you with counters. Okay, so the white side is going to be the positive side, and the red side is going to be the negative side. So I'm going to show you this with counters first. So we're going to model 3 plus negative 7. So we're going to have 3 positive. We're going to have 7 negative. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so since they're different types of numbers, one's positive and one's negative, we can't just combine these and say that we have a total of 10. Okay, we have to be creative about the way that we combine them. And so since we're adding, we're going to follow our rule as far as if they're the same sign, okay, if they're the same color, we can go ahead and add and keep the sign. But since these are different colors, we're going to get rid of what's called a zero pair. Positive 1 plus negative 1 is 0. So we're going to get rid of this 0 pair. We're going to get rid of this 0 pair because adding 0 does nothing. We're going to get rid of this 0 pair. And what you're left with is 4 negative counters. So when you have two numbers that have different signs, you cannot just add them together. So when you're going to actually subtract them, because you're subtracting these 3 0 pairs. So as you subtract, you're actually taking away those 0 pairs and seeing what is left. So 7 minus 3 is 4. And we have to look at the one with the greater absolute value, the one with the most counters. So since there were 7 negative and only 3 positive, we took away 3 0 pairs, okay? These 3 0 pairs that we took away, we took those away, and we were left with negative 4. So we were left with 4 negative counters. So that's why you subtract when your signs are different. Okay, so we're going to start up here. You're going to subtract the lesser absolute value from the greater absolute value. That just means just like this, 7 minus 3 equals 4. And we're going to use the sign of the greater absolute value, which actually is the one that has the most counters. Okay? So, like this one. This had the greater absolute value. It had the most counters, so that's why there's a negative sign in the answer. So let's look at this one. All right, they're different signs, so we're going to subtract. And as I'm doing this, I'm taking away those 13 0 pairs. So I have 15 counters left, and they're going to be negative, since I had more negative counters. All right, this one, 54 is negative, and this is positive, so different signs. So I'm going to take away those 27 0 pairs, and I'm going to have 27 left over, but they're going to be negative since I had more negative counters. All right, here 15 minus 14 is 1. I have more positive counters than negative, so my answer is just going to be a positive 1. All right, so let's look here. Here is actually if you want to draw the counters. We have 5 positive and 8 negative. So we're going to get rid of the 0 counters. There's 0. They go off to 0 land. 0, 0, 0, 0. So technically we have negative 3 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0, which is still negative 3. All right, so here on this number line, it's going to be just like yesterday. Okay, we're going to go ahead and start at negative 8. And we're going to go 5 to the right because this is a positive 5. So we're going to move 5 to the right toward the positive side of the number line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Put an arrow, and that arrow is pointing to your answer. So since they were different signs, 8 minus 5 is 3. And since we had more negatives, your answer is going to be negative. Okay, so another way that they might show this is like this. Instead of starting on negative 7, they might say something like, I'm going to start at 0 and move to negative 7. So basically they're starting at negative 7. They just move to 7, and then they're going to go 8 to the left. I know this kind of runs into it, I'm sorry. So they moved 7, then 8 left, and they ended at -1. It's the same thing as starting at 7 and moving 8 to the left since it's negative. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So my answer is going to be -1. Okay, let's look at the back. All right, number 1. I went ahead and labeled them for you because you couldn't tell between the white and the gray. So which model shows +6 plus -3? So we need 6 positive counters and 3 negative counters. So I'm just going to count my positive first in each answer choice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 1, 2, 3, 4. That's not what we're looking for. Count the positive. 1, 2, 3. And count the negative. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now remember, the only reason we're putting the parentheses is to separate those two signs. 1, 2, 3, 4 positive plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 negative. That's not really what we're looking for. We're looking for 6 positive and 3 negative. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 1, 2, 3. That's what we're looking for. That matches this. So it's going to be D. All right, on number 2, it looks like they're starting at 0 but going to 6. So basically starting at 6 and then moving 4 to the left. So this could mean 6 minus 4 equals 2. Or this could be 6 plus, and since it's moving to the left, a -4 equals 2. So subtracting a positive is the same thing as adding a negative. Okay, you move the same way on the number line. It's the same jumps on the number line. 4 to the left, 4 to the left. So the one that matches is going to be D. All right, let's look at number 3. When you go ahead and add up, it's asking for the team score, and it's saying that you have to add all of them to get the team score. So this is a golf contest. That's why you have some negatives, okay? So 5 plus 4, since they're both positive, that's just going to be a +9. Now let's add these. This is from yesterday when the signs were the same, and we add them together. You add and keep the sign. So now let's add 9 plus -10. So they're different signs. So 10 minus 9 is 1. And you have more negatives than positives, so it's going to be a -1. Okay, here, what is the sum of -5 plus 3? So we have 5 negative and 3 positive. So I'm going to get rid of my 0 pairs, and I'm left with -2.